by Jeep. I am James Brown, back here in Studio 43 with my colleagues Bill Cowher, Nate Burleson, and Matt Ryan. All right, folks, let's take a look at the headlines for Week 10 right here on CBS. A matchup of two first-place squads in Tampa, where Drake May leads the Patriots into the pirate ship to take on Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. Staying in Florida, Josh Allen and James Cook, folks, they've been on a roll. They'll look to continue their winning ways. That's when the Bills face the Dolphins in Miami. And out in Nate's old territory in Seattle, Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith in Jigba have formed quite the tandem. Later today, they'll host the Cardinals as they aim for their fourth straight. All right, Matt.
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff today, but there was lots of excitement this week, too, with the trading deadline on Tuesday coming and going. I think the Seattle Seahawks hit a home run. I really think Rashid Shaheed is a home run hitter in the passing game that they can have. I think he probably, of anybody in the trades, has the biggest impact on the field this year. The Jets, however, were on the selling side. And I really think they did a good thing for their organization. Acquiring draft capital, lots of potential for them in the future. But the job of Darren Muge and Aaron Glenn starts now. If you have those picks and you have the potential to change your organization, potential does not equal production.
There you go.
You have to get these picks right. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the draft come this April. But I think this organization needs to give them time to get the pieces that they want in place and build this for long-term success.
Sure. Yeah, and I think right now it's in November. It's Navigation November, right? You got to control the narrative in your room. And I just think the NFL is more parity now than there's ever been before. So if I'm sitting there going into that right now, it's about preparation. It's about perspective. It's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it appears. Yeah. So I just think right now as you sit there and do it, posture yourself. Go ahead, go get this thing. There's a lot of things we're doing well, and there's a lot of things we haven't done well. To me, the opportunities right now for a lot of these teams, even if you only have 3 wins.
Yeah, JB, you mentioned the Seattle Seahawks, and that's a team that we're not talking about enough. Listen, I was in Seattle back home on Friday. I spent some time with a handful of Seattle Seahawks players. They're not just happy to be a good team. They're not complacent. They know that they have a team that's good enough to make a Super Bowl run. Sam Darnold brought immediate stability to this offense. You have Jackson Smith and Jigba. By the way, I'm going to break down his film a little bit later on, and I'll tell you why he is not one of, but maybe the best receiver in the game. But this team has what they need. Oh, and not to mention, I know you're going to talk about their defense. This might be the best Seattle Seahawks defense I have seen since the Legion of Boom.
Ooh, that's saying something. And you've got the teaching tool for us, huh, to educate.
No doubt.
All right, folks. Hey, and for more on our early slate, let's tap in with our excellent colleague station all around the league, starting with the 2-time Emmy Award-winning Tracy Wolfson, who is in Tampa. Hello, Tracy.
Hello, JB. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs coming off a much-needed bye. He was telling us he was about 50% going into that bye week, dealing with a knee injury, an oblique injury. Now, certainly, he's not 100%, but the rest and recovery helped. They hope to get back to doing some of the things they were doing offensively before he got hurt. Now, he will not have Chris Godwin. He will not have Bucky Irving Jr. once again. As for New England, they are without Ramondre Stevenson for the second straight week, and Kayshon Boutte is out as well. Expect some of those rookies to step up for the Patriots. Now, let's send it down to South Florida, where A.J. Ross is in Miami.
Thanks, Tracy. Josh Allen broke his own franchise record last week, completing 88.5% of his passes against Kansas City. He's looking to keep that hot streak alive against the Dolphins today as the AFC standings race continues to heat up. But the depth of this Bills defense is going to be tested today, especially in the secondary with starters Christian Benford and Taron Johnson sidelined with injuries. Now let's send things over to Evan Washburn in Houston.
Hey, Jay, it's as much of a must-win as you can have for the 3-5 Texans here in Week 10 of this season. And they're dealing with some real injury concerns as they get set to face Jacksonville. They're down 5 starters, 3 on offense, including quarterback C.J. Stroud. He's out with the concussion. So in steps Davis Mills, former QB1 here in Houston, making his first start in 34 months. As for Jacksonville, the newest Jaguar wide receiver Jacoby Myers, acquired on the trade deadline, expected to start in this game. And we were told last night he has a huge role in this game plan. Now let's head to New Jersey and a key member of the cardiac crew, Aditi Ikebwala.
Evan, the Jets swapped defensive stars Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner for a haul of high draft picks this week. But instead of deflation, the Jets players to a man insisted to us that they have adopted head coach Aaron Glenn's mantra. with change comes opportunity. Glenn told us that there is no way that you replace these players one for one. But he did say you don't make moves like this unless you have young guys ready to compete. So, JB, we'll see how that plays itself out today.
Aditi, thank you so much. Well, there's no question that the entire NFL community was shaken this week by the heartbreaking and tragic passing of Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Kneeland. According to local police, Kneeland died by apparent suicide at the age of 24, just hours after his loved ones had expressed concern for his well-being. You know, it is always a tragedy when someone dies unexpectedly, especially someone as young as Marshawn Kneeland. We all face moments of pain, doubt, and exhaustion, and that doesn't make us broken or weak. Mental health challenges are part of being human. I learned that at Huddle for Hope. It was a mental health summit that I participated in before last season's Super Bowl, where over 30 national and statewide organizations and subject matter experts convened. Now, we don't always know what people are going through, but one should never underestimate the impact of our simply being present, engaging in active listening and discerning. A simple question like, "How are you doing?" can open the door for a response that could let you know or suspect someone needs help. And we can be there to assist them to where there are, as Coach Cowher said, abundant resources like the NFL's Total Wellness and Clinical Services, the NFL Players Association's Wellness Team, or call, text, or chat 988 for free confidential support 24/7. That is all of us being teammates in the most helpful of ways. It shouldn't take tragedies like these to remind us of our shared humanity, but it is a reminder to listen, to care, and to make sure no one feels alone. Our thoughts and prayers are with Marshawn Kneeland's loved ones at this time.
The NFL Today on CBS is presented by Jeep. There's only one.
Salute to Service is the year-round effort by the NFL and its charitable partners to honor, empower, and connect with our nation's service members, veterans, and their families. Certainly at this time each year, the NFL reinforces our support and gratitude for those who have served and to those who continue to serve. Visit NFL.com/salute to learn about the league's impact with its Salute to Service members and partners. All right, folks, and to show their appreciation during the Salute to Service, NFL players visit local military bases to experience military life firsthand. Chicago Bears players visited Naval Station Great Lakes to meet service members and take part in a behind-the-scenes tour of the base. Spending time with our service members, certainly a small way the NFL, its teams, and the players express appreciation to those who have served. And to all who have worn the uniform, the NFL and USA say thank you. All right, folks, time now for Pregame HQ delivered by Domino's.
Drake May's been on a bit of a heater.
Mayfield is playing at the very top of his game.
Drake May, chance of MVP.
Baker Mayfield, he's got to be the front runner for MVP in the league.
I'm excited for this one.
1, 2, 3.
And looking at the playoff picture, matches, both New England and Tampa are right near the top of the standings in their respective conferences, which makes this matchup all the more intriguing. And for more in this game, we welcome in the very perspicacious Tony Romo, who will be on the call today. Tony, Drake May is playing at an MVP level, and this offense is clicking. What are you seeing are the reasons behind this?
Well, the first thing is I have no idea what you said. That was a big word, and my Eastern Illinois education, I didn't quite get there, but I do appreciate it, I think. But to your point, what you find is this is a really smart job by this staff. I think hiring Mike Vrabel starts the process for the organization turning it around, and you're seeing that right now. Then who he hires starts the next process, and he brings in Josh McDaniels. And then when you do that, Now you see the maturation that's taking place with Drake May, and he is playing at an incredibly high level right now. And I was so excited to watch the tape this week. It was really fun because I'm like, wow, I didn't think this team was going to be this good. They're for real.
Tony, on the other side of the ball, we got Baker Mayfield. He's been dealing with a number of guys who have been out throughout the season. He's also been dealing with some injuries of his own. How big was this bye week for Baker and this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team?
Yeah, it was huge. You hit it on the head. I mean, he's willed his team to 6-2. And I mean, I thought early in the year they went through a lot of troubles. They had to shuffle offensive linemen all over the place, centers playing tackle, and this was just Baker playing at such a high level, losing your top receivers, having young guys. He's had to almost become a coach on the fly. But his ability to get himself healthy has probably been the biggest difference in this bye week. His oblique and his knee was really troubling him, and you saw it on the field. Expect him to come out and play great today, especially if they get their right tackle back, which I think there's a good chance Kadecki's going to play today.
All right, so Tony, we give out awards way too early in the studio, right? We talk about MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year in Week 10. Let's talk about Coach of the Year. I think both of these head coaches are candidates to potentially be Head Coach of the Year.
100%. If we were giving out awards, they would be right there. I think Ben Johnson would be in the mix, too, with Chicago. But I think right now, Todd Bowles is one of the most under the radar type coaches in the National Football League. All he does is win. And I feel like he's done an incredible job. Post Brady, no one expected, to keep winning the division like they have. And he's built a monster here. They just need to get healthy. Theirs is easy. Vrabel's building his. It just has come on a lot faster than people realize. But I think these two teams are so similar. And I'm going to talk about it during the game. They both have strengths in the same areas, weaknesses a little bit here. But at the end of the day, this is going to come down to the quarterback play.
All right, Tony, your insight is highly respected. Thank you so much. Hey, knock 'em alive today, Tony. All right, folks, now let's throw it over to Nate and Coach, who have a guest of their own.
That's right. Let's head down to Houston with our guy JJ, who's on the call for the Jags-Texans game. Now, before we get to the game, you were actually on the field with a prospect who is ranked #1 on the 2045 NFL mock draft board. Some scouts are calling him Koa the Conqueror.
It was the best. This was such a cool morning for me to have my wife Kaylee and my son Koa down on the field. Obviously, so many memories in this building, so many great throwbacks, and to see him run into that end zone, the same one I've run into before, just unbelievable feeling this morning.
Yeah, really cool to see, man. We love it. Love seeing you out there with your fam. And listen, you're familiar with this team. You're familiar with this division. And we know these division games, they're like playoff games. What's on your mind when it comes to the Jags specifically?
Yeah, today, I think it's a chance for Liam Cohen to really stamp that new identity on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They obviously took care of the Texans earlier in the season, and they have a chance to sweep them for the first time since 2017. And they've only been 3-12 against the Texans since that 2017 season. So you look at that, and you say, well, this is Liam Cohen's first year, so he's 1-0. He has a chance to sweep him in his first year and really lay that foundation for what he wants his team to be.
Yeah, JJ, he can do that, but boy, you're going up against a Texas defense that's been so special all year. These guys have really held his team together, and I guess going against it, do you sense being down another week, kind of like right now, this is like a playoff game. You look what the defense has done, and can Davis Mills taking over for C.J. Stroud today, can he do enough to get these guys over the hump going against this Jacksonville team on defense that likes to take the football away?
Yeah, Coach, I think you're exactly right. This game is kind of one of those do or die for keeping your season alive here in Houston. They need to win this game against a division opponent, keep themselves going. It is going to be tough without their quarterback, C.J. Stroud. Davis Mills steps in, but like you showed, this defense is the #1 defense in the NFL, and they're trying every single week to keep them in it. It's just they're not putting up points in the red zone, and they're not scoring when they get down to the goal line. 0 for 10 from inside the 3-yard line. You can't win football games if you can't put it in from 1 yard out.
JJ, real quick, let's talk about Trevor Lawrence. There's times where he receives high praise, and rightfully so. And then there's times where he falls under heavy criticism. What are you seeing in him?
I think it's really interesting. We talked to him yesterday, and his completion percentage is the second worst in the entire league. Now, he put some of that on himself with ball placement and decisions, but they've also had the most drops in the NFL. They've had 30 drops. And so those types of things compound the issue.
Yeah.
First, you have the bad throws that don't get there. Second, you have the drops where you finally do throw it good, and then it's dropped. So they're trying to get that handled, and of course, that's why they brought in Jacoby Myers, such a sure-handed guy, to hopefully fix that issue.
No doubt about it. Hey, listen, man, I get texts and phone calls about how good of a job you are doing in the booth every single week. So go out there and have another great call, brother.
You guys are the best. I appreciate it. Miss you. Love you guys.
Love you too, man. Have a good one. All right, each week on Nickelodeon, join yours truly and my guy, Young Dylan, as we turn the highlights into slime lights and find out who joins Colston Loveland in taking home the slimiest trophy in the land, the MVP. All that and more on NFL Slime Time, Wednesdays at 5 Eastern and Thursdays on Paramount+.
Coming up on the NFL Today, Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith-Njigba have the Seahawks flying high. Do they have what it takes to soar all the way to Super Bowl 60? Baker Mayfield is doing it again in Tampa. And the Bucs QB will talk to Matt live before taking on the Patriots. And this week, the Jets swap some big names for some valuable draft picks. Find out if the guys think Gang Green took a positive step to their future. All that and more when the NFL Today returns on CBS.
The NFL Today back on the road next week.
Yeah, I can't wait to go on the road.
Let's go, Buffalo!
Gotta dig my team out.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? A mate eats all that food on the road and doesn't gain a pound. That is just not right. Hey, folks, after this week's pit stop here in New York, we are indeed back on the road, this time heading to the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado. The clash between, of course, the Chiefs and the Denver Broncos.
JB, you know what? You just never know what's going to transpire. We don't even know what's going to transpire when it comes to Sunday. So it is a different atmosphere. And with these guys up there, these clowns right up here.
These clowns.
Right.
Hey, I hope there's no snow because, Coach, you fired a snowball off my face last week in Buffalo. That didn't feel so good, man.
That seemed kind of personal.
I thought we said no face shot.
Yeah, exactly. Listen,
I was proud of being so accurate.
hey, Denver, things get wild, so I need you guys to show up and show out early and often. We are going to be there all day long, and we're going to have a ball.
Nate, you know, everything is personal with Coach.
That's right. You're right about that.
Hey, folks, we spend 60 minutes each week talking about football and making our picks. But this season, Diageo, in partnership with Mothers Against Drunk Driving and the NFL, urges you to take a minute to make a plan to get home safely and never drive impaired.
That's right, JB, and we know game day is the perfect time to gather and celebrate. And this weekend, Diageo is bringing the ultimate tailgate to Miami, encouraging fans to take a minute, make a plan for a responsible game day. After the fun, fans were invited to hop on the Diageo branded bus to Hard Rock Stadium, offering safe round-trip transportation to and from the game. Shout out to Diageo.
No question about it. And just remember, it only takes a minute to ensure that we all get home safely.
That's right, JB.
And with kickoff just about a half hour away, time now to set the scene at your game as we take you out first on the field, presented by FedEx. For the latest news and updates on your matchup.
All right, JB, this is the scene here in the 80s with clouds in Tampa, pair of division leaders about to meet, New England and Tampa Bay. And Tony, it's not only an attractive matchup. Let's start with the Patriots. What a job by Mike Vrabel in his return to the team he played for with his quarterback Drake May as well. Those two have created quite a spark here for the Patriots.
Boy, have they. This is a huge game. I feel like it might be the best of the weekend, but what Vrabel has done is started to create the culture that they wanted. They got their quarterback of the future who's playing outstanding, but the hiring of Josh McDaniels really started this whole thing in motion, and you're seeing that come to fruition.
Interesting when we met with them last night, how much they talked about Stephon Diggs and his leadership for this team.
That's been the biggest thing. I think you got young players in there who you got to kind of basically bring along, and he's done that. He's the guy they go to a lot, but they throw the ball to everybody, and you see his selflessness, the Patriot way, it's coming to fruition.
Well, Todd Bowles and the Bucks back on top of the division again right now at 6-2 coming off a bye week.
One of the most underrated, under-the-radar coaches in the National Football League. All he does is win, and he's got his team rolling under incredible pressure of what they've had to go through this year. I'm incredibly impressed.
And, of course, led by this guy right here, Baker Mayfield.
He's done it too. He's willed his team to 6-2, and they've had so many injuries, different things. Getting some players back today. Expect them after the bye to come out with some new wrinkles, and I think he's going to have a really good game today.
And at 100% now after a nagging hamstring for several weeks, Emeka Egbuka, their standout rookie wide receiver.
Boy, is he a standout. He got off to that incredible start, kind of just turned it off a little, you know, having the injuries, it makes it difficult, but he needs to be the guy today. He's got to win the one-on-one matchups if they're going to win this game.
All right, Tony, it's about a half an hour away. The Patriots and the Buccaneers, but coming up next on the NFL Today, a visit live on the field with Baker Mayfield as we continue right here on CBS.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Smith-Njigba.
He's a real deal.
What a catch.
He might just be the best receiver in football right now.
Getting ready for action. No one does it like Jackson. If it's true, I ain't bragging, no.
Smith-Njigba.
I'ma light it up, so watch me.
Touchdown, Seahawks.
It feels so good to say out loud.
Wow.
No, I'm gonna win, don't need no luck. I got the golden touch.
And indeed, Nate is grinning all over himself because when it comes to playing receiver this year, Jackson Smith-Njigba has been the gold standard. As a matter of fact, his league-leading 948 receiving yards has him on pace for over 2,000 yards. Folks, that would be an NFL record, and Nate knows all about that.
Yeah, that was Calvin Johnson, and he was absolutely dominant. Now, I'm not saying that Jackson Smith-Njigba is Calvin Johnson, but he is on his way, and purely because of his speed and route running ability. Let's break it down. What makes this young man so good? It's his ability to get in and out of his breaks with explosion. Now, look at that. You see the double move? You got to make the DB believe, and then he tracks the ball over the shoulders. And watch this right here. Bruce Lee once said, be like water. And if you're like water, you're fluid. Watch how fluid he is. He's going to sail this post. The DB is going to try to find him. I want you to pay attention how flat he comes out. Zero wasted movement on both routes. Let's turn the angle and show you the sideline of this. He's going to track the ball. He knows exactly where the sideline is, having that awareness of vet would. So that's what makes him so good, is that he explodes off of the ball. Every route looks the same the first 10 yards, but when he's in and out of his breaks, he is not giving any telltale sign where he's going, when he's stopping, or where he's exploding to. And he is dominant right now.
It's a graceful route runner, man.
No doubt about it. But he's not doing it alone, though.
No, he's not doing it alone. But as a quarterback, you see those clips, and it's hard to not fall in love with that receiver, just crushing people on the route. One of the things I think Sam Darnold has done a great job is balancing how to feed Jackson Smith-Njigba the ball. Right here, single safety, Sam Darnold under center. All right, the safety's going to take the crossing route. Outside, there's going to be an opportunity to layer this football over the DB right there. And he does it. He gives his guy a chance. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch for the score right there. But also, look at this sluggo route. You're going to fall in love with a receiver like this, but the safety is going to be outside that right hash, and he's going to be taking away this sluggo route over the top. So what does Sam Darnold do? He goes through his progression.
Yeah.
He trusts the other players on the team and delivers a strike on the seam route. I think it's fantastic what Sam Darnold is doing right now, specifically on first down. Yeah. Look at this, guys. 10.9 yards per attempt on first down. Basically, every time they drop back on first down, they're getting a first down.
Right.
And they add Rashid Shaheed to that mix.
Woo!
This offense could be scary moving forward, but it's not just the offense, Coach. The defense is pretty good as well.
And Mike McDonald, who came from Baltimore, has done a great job. Look what they've done here. Yards per play, third. Sacks, third in the National Football League. Points per game. But these guys all work on a string. They work in collusion with each other. And watch how they rush the quarterback. You're going to get right here. You're going to see a man-to-man defense. Okay, you man-to-man bump up there. But look at right now. Look at this. We got Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, Boye Mafe, and they come up. They collapse the pocket. No one's getting too far upfield. They stay in the inside pressure lanes. space, nowhere for Trevor Lawrence to step up to, and you get a sack. You know what? If you're playing good defense, it should look good zone defense. It should look like man-to-man. Watch how they pass these routes along right here. They just pass from one to another. They match it right here. Everybody's matched. It was a zone that came out, so you get that. And so the other thing is the illusion of bringing it from one side. Looks like he's coming from up top, but no, the up top guy's going to drop. He brings them free from down here. A four-man rush, a zone behind. These guys are all connected. Disguise is very important in the National Football League to get against a quarterback. The illusion of one thing, and you show them another thing.
But you have to be disciplined to pull that off, Coach. You have to be on the same page.
Communication's got to be key. They got to be on a string, and I think you see it from the back end to the middle lane and to up front. These guys all work in unison.
Yeah, you know, I love what Sam Darnold is doing because he was brought there to bring stability to this offense. And I just love the fact that he is having a really good season.
Let's go from one quarterback who's balling to another. We got Baker Mayfield right now. Baker, it's Matt Ryan. Thank you so much for joining us. We teased you coming in. Absolutely. Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight, was playing. That song used to always get me going. What's your favorite song pregame to hear that kind of gets your juices flowing?
Oh, man. I got a Lil Wayne, No Ceilings 2 soundtrack, My Name Is remix.
Ooh, Nate loves it. Nate's standing right next to me. He loves it. All right, so we had the bye week. We're coming off it. How's the body feeling? How's the team doing coming off that bye, getting ready for the stretch run of the season?
Yeah, the bye week for us came at the perfect time. You know, getting some guys back, huge to take a little break there. But getting Luke Gadecki back at right tackle today is going to be huge for us. And then defense, you know, continuing what they were doing. And offense, we got to pick it up. Standard the last couple of weeks, or the last two games that we've had, wasn't up to par for us. So we got to pick it up and set the tempo today.
All right, so we can see the teammates running into the locker room right behind you. As you go into the locker room, we're about 25 minutes away from kick. Is it all Lil Wayne beforehand, or do you get into the game plan a little bit? What's your routine when you get into the locker room?
Yeah, hit a little down tempo, some instrumentals, look at the game plan again, and then get going.
Perfect. Baker, best of luck. We appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate you guys.
I love these in the pads interviews. It's my favorite part of the show. You know, we talk about Baker often.
Yeah.
We've all been part of this ride as fans of his during his career, the ups and downs coming in, 27 pass TDs, breaking the rookie record as a young fella with the Browns, and now to see where he's at. I always feel like quarterbacks have the ability to lift up the rest of the team by doing two things. Like just being that guy in a moment where we need you to, making those throws.
Yep.
But then also like taking the game on their shoulders. And Baker has done that a few times this year where he's like, listen, we need a big play.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to throw it downfield. I am the big play. Yeah. I remember that run on like 3rd and 17 or whatever it was. He's running through guys the last 3 yards, gets up, flexes, talks trash to the DB. I'm sitting on the desk in a suit, and I was ready to go play ball. I can only imagine what that means for a squad.
And you know what the thing I love about him? He works the middle of the pocket. A lot of guys get comfortable outside the pocket. I remember talking to Baker when he came in here from the Heisman Trophy. That way you keep the whole field open. Baker Mayfield doesn't want to leave the pocket. He wants to step up into the pocket. And if it opens up, he'll take it. But he wants to keep his vision on the whole field, which I think is very smart. And it's a discipline you have to have.
We talked a lot about the Seattle Seahawks prior to Baker coming on. I think the Seattle Seahawks took a look at what happened in Tampa and built their organization in a similar way. You've got a defensive-minded head coach, Todd Bowles. Yeah. You've got a quarterback who's in his 2nd or 3rd stop that's revitalizing their career, and you put playmakers around him on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Yeah. Very similar team in Tampa to what they're doing out in Seattle.
You guys are master teachers, and I wish we had more time to break down some of the nomenclature. You talk about the sluggo. We talked about being on a string and the like. Hopefully we'll find some time to do that to educate the audience as well. All right, folks, storied rivalries, first-half choices, yielding second-half consequences, an emotional and epic conclusion. Now, while these might be things we can expect in today's matchups, I'm actually talking about what, folks?
Wicked for Good.
All right, which is coming to theaters November 21st. Take a look.
Haven't you heard? I'm the Wicked Witch of the West. could be just a word. It has to change things.
No place like home.
Rated PG. In theaters November 21st.
The NFL Today is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. Verizon, the best 5G network. There's only one best. And by Jeep. There's only one.
This week, in honor of the league's Salute to Service initiative, the Texans hosted service members and first responders at NRG Stadium for a flag football tournament and skills challenge.
We have some breaking news. The New York Jets are trading cornerback Sauce Gardner to the Colts.
This is a blockbuster that no one really saw coming.
The Colts are sending 2 first-round picks back to the Jets.
Quinnen Williams going to the Dallas Cowboys. The Jets are getting a 2026 second-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick.
I love what the New York Jets did.
The fact that they have a clear, decisive direction now, how could you not be beyond excited about the draft next year?
And now Jet fans are energized.
Right now, I'm optimistic for the Jets. They can make some swing. I think they made the right choice. I am pumped. I mean, I'm going to wait for another few years and I hope they can turn this mess around.
With change, there comes opportunity. This is a team that the fans will be proud of.
It all starts right now.
And while some squads were buyers at the trade deadline, others were sellers. And folks, the team that really made headlines for the moves they made, the New York Jets.
Yeah, JB, and I like what they did. I think when you look at it, the fact that they went out and they traded, Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, but they also got back Adonai Mitchell as a receiver to help with that offense. Mozzie Smith, when he was the #1 pick for the Dallas Cowboys. But I just think it's important, and I like what they've been doing. They've lost the last 2 #1 picks on offensive tackles. They built an offensive line. They got some pieces in place. You got to let that man and the GM do their jobs right now. I've said this before, build it. The quarterback, you got to get the quarterback, but you build it, and the quarterback will come. You plug him in, and you're winning right now. So you got to be able to learn to win without a franchise quarterback.
So like football field of dreams, build it and they will come.
Build it and they will come. And when he does come, you'll get the other people who come and will be the people coming and following you. Because I'm telling you, I won with 5 different quarterbacks playoff games. 5 playoff games with 5 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But when we finally got Ben, we won a championship. So you can build a mentality, a culture, a surrounding, a line, a defense.
Right.
And that's what these guys can do right now with these draft picks. And then we'll get the quarterback. So don't reach for the quarterback, get one, but build everything else around him.
I think that's the key. I think you said it. Don't reach. If he's not there, he's not there. Pick up the pieces that best benefit your team moving forward. I also think there's some interesting pieces that they kept. Yeah. Right? A Breece Hall in the running back position with the contract coming up. And you've got to be able to figure out what that's going to look like moving forward.
And you got cap room now. Because
you have cap room to be able to do that, right? The finances are there. The job, like you said, is beginning for Darren Moogie and Aaron Glenn. Yeah. It's going to be important for them to get these picks right as they go forward, but there's pieces there. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, like we mentioned, in that offensive spot. I think the quarterback is going to be key. I'm with you. Do not reach. If you don't feel like it's there in this draft, be patient, sign a veteran. We've seen veteran success across the league right now. It's going to be interesting to see what the Jets do.
And last thing I'll add to this, you guys are all spot on. You're talking about patience. Don't reach. Give it time. But this is the New York market.
Yeah.
All right? Patience is not the plan when it comes to football teams.
I think
I'm just keeping it real.
From the top.
I get it.
With ownership.
I'm just keeping it real.
Keeping patience for this organization.
I hear you.
All of you can certainly relate to some somber news to pass along to the audience out here, and we are all deeply saddened to announce the passing of former NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue at the age of 84. Over his 17 years as commissioner, he spearheaded new television deals, franchise and international expansion, and helped boost player wages. A member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Commissioner Tagliabue's legacy is evident in the continued success of the National Football League. Our thoughts and prayers are with his wife Chandler, son Drew, and daughter Emily at this time.
You know, I just say I went into the class of 2020 Hall of Fame with Tag. His last Super Bowl that he gave the trophy to was the one we won in Detroit. Paul Tagliabue had so much to do with the league and its development, going through some of the rocky negotiations with the collective bargaining agreement. And I also know this, that Roger Goodell sat right next to Paul Tagliabue for multiple years and watched how he ran it, and how he's able to maneuver and how he has to work together with the league, with the owners, and just be a voice of reason. And that's what he really was to me. He was a very calming force at times when it was a little tumultuous in terms of what we're trying to do in negotiations. This guy was very much a clairvoyant leader of the National Football League, and his impact will always be felt.
Yeah, you're right about that. I came in 2003 at the tail end of his run as commissioner, but I had seen the previous decade in the growth of the NFL. Listen, being a commissioner is not easy. You have to be the ultimate bridge between player, team, organization, the community at large in this country, and then also reaching foreign. And then you also have to make the owners happy. But still keep in mind the purity of this game. And he did it flawlessly with all of these things happening simultaneously. He's a legend in this game, and you can't write about the NFL without his name.
No, Paul Tagliabue and David Stern are the commissioners of my youth growing up.
Yeah.
Those are the first guys that I saw in that position. And then directly benefited from as a player during my time in the league, which would have been later. The league is where it's at because of commissioners like Paul Tagliabue and some prior to him. But the success of the league right now wouldn't be where it is without the foundation laid by Paul.
They were leaders. I call them technocrats as well, too, because they stayed focused on what the objective was to make certain that the game as a whole progressed. And Bill, thank you for that insight as well.
And I think that's the one thing he always did. It was what's in the best interest of the game. I know that Dan Rooney, we used to talk about the National Football League, and it's just like, do the right thing. Just do the right thing. And that was like, the times that doesn't give you a whole lot of an answer, but it makes you think about what the core values are that you stand for, what you want the league to stand for, the integrity, the commitment to having the most competitive league in the world, and to be also to be fair. To be fair to everybody, whether it be the players, to the teams, to the owners, respectively. And so he was able to listen to a lot. He was able to share a lot. He was an ultimate leader. I think great leaders are great listeners.
It's amazing how you just keep it simple, because I always commend you about the international confab of leaders and business folks. Simply put, do the right thing and to be fair. If you follow that mantra, you know what? It works out, no question about it. All right, folks, Matt Ryan is up now because we have an update from the game over in Berlin, over on NFL Network.
Yeah, let's go over to Berlin, and we're going to take a look at the end of regulation here. Michael Badgley is going to nail a 44-yard field goal. He had missed 2 kicks prior to this in the game, but comes up clutch at the most important of times. This ball game is in overtime right now, 25-25. Really big game.
Really big game. And how about Berlin getting a nice overtime game, right?
It is huge. I mean, listen, for the Indianapolis Colts, I mean, I tell you, Atlanta Falcons have come out and played very hard in this game.
Yeah.
Michael Penix has made some good throws. But and Daniel Jones has had some ups and downs in this game, but if they can pull this game out, this is a big one for them.
But even if they pull it out, Coach, there are some cause for concern. I mean, he is under duress. Like, what's going on? It just seems like turn the football over. It also seems like these blitzes are catching this offensive line, the running back, even him off guard. And listen, you know what it is, Coach. Once something is working at this point in the season, every single squad you face from here on out is going to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, and I think you go through the month of November, and we keep talking about navigating those murky waters, and some of the murky waters is just figuring out who you are right now with what you have.
And what you need to work on.
And what you have to work on, because you understand what your strengths are and your weaknesses right now. But I'll tell you what, they're going down here right now methodically in this overtime.
Yeah,
they got the Indianapolis
Colts. Got a chance coming up. They're 7-2. All that matters, find a way to get.
Doesn't have to look pretty.
No pictures on this scorecard.
Get the win.
Just got to get the job done.
One of our CBS Sports producers, Nia Walker, has been working with Michelle Miller on doing a story that was aired this weekend about how crazy the fans over in Germany are, especially Berlin, to your point.
That's right.
All right, folks, hey, it's time now to play your game with FanDuel. You can bet same-game parlays and more on any NFL with FanDuel. Fellas, what are your picks for today's same-game parlays plus?
Buffalo Bills are going down to Miami, a little warmer weather, and I look for James Cook with 100-plus total yards and Dalton Kincaid. You watch, he's Josh Allen's newest target, 40-plus receiving yards.
All right. So there's a divisional game in our 4 o'clock window. It's the Cardinals, Seahawks. Those divisional games always gets guys going, specifically the wide receivers. Talked about Jackson Smith and Jigba, the way he runs routes. I mean, he's on pace to break Calvin Johnson's single-season yards record. 80 yards today. I think he's going to hit that. That's mine.
Well, I just saw on the monitor, too, the Colts just won. They ran it in. Jonathan Taylor scored right there. But I'm going with the guy who we talked about, same in Seattle. Rashid Shaheed shows up. He's got big play potential. They're going to feature him. A little play action, one shot down the field. He goes for over 40
Do you
yards.
represent him or something?
Like
You've been talking about
I don't. I just like him, man. I just like him.
Oh, they're going to use him right away is what you're saying.
Yes. The Chiefs model. We get a new guy back or we get somebody back.
Feature him right now.
Throwing him the ball.
All right. Instant. You got an instant
update. I kind of spoiled it right there, but here comes Jonathan Taylor. They go a little motion right here, right up the middle, running old school power. JT with a little stutter cut, walks in. Indianapolis, like we said, finds a way to get it done. Congratulations to the Colts. 31-25 ball game.
All game.
Wow. Well, all right, folks, you know what? Matt had a little bit of a drop in his voice on that score. I'll tell you what. Hey, for those of you getting the 4 o'clock game today, we will be back with more after a quick timeout, Nate.
Yeah, don't you go anywhere. We got the best games going on CBS. We will get you out to your game next.